What's good? We are here. Joshua Grady here. This is the Agent Talk podcast, and we will get straight into it. I'd actually previously recorded an episode, but it came off a little too strong, I want to say, for the topic at hand. And so I'm now re-recording that and trying to do it with a little more, softness in my voice, I would say, regarding this topic. So for those that follow me on Instagram, I posted a poll about, what it was that those listening wanted to hear and for me to speak on. And it was a resounding choice for an agent being fired. This is a topic that I feel like a lot of agents don't like discussing. I really haven't seen any, especially when you look at some of the quote unquote notable agents in the industry. I've never really heard anyone speaking on being fired or being terminated in that relationship, that, signing a player, it no longer being in existence for one reason or another. I posted this after the 2020 NFL draft on my Instagram. And I really believe that it's very easy for us, for whether you're an agent, you're a teacher, you're an athlete, you're whatever. It's very easy to discuss our successes, our wins, when we put together a new sponsorship deal, when we have someone getting signed or drafted. Very easy, to hold up our trophies. And that's in all aspects, not just agents. But I think it's equally important and equally empowering and impactful to also be one to speak on, when things maybe don't go your way, when disappointments come, when maybe you've made mistakes, whatever it can be. And one of the reasons that I wanted to set out on this journey with the podcast is to be able to bring some real authentic truth, regardless of if it was deemed quote unquote good or bad. Okay. And so for me, if I'm going to speak on here talking about when things go right, I have to talk about when things maybe go left. And so with that being said, so last Thursday, I was actually fired. Okay, so I was fired. That term itself can bring for some people some negative emotion, but it's been a learning experience, I would say. And to keep a long story short regarding this, is I had a player signed to us that I've been working with since January, who really, due to COVID, had a lot of things that just didn't transpire in the way that we would have hoped. A guy who, to be honest, didn't have the best draft grades coming out of college. A guy whose own team, to be very transparent, whose own college coaches were, talking to NFL coaches and not really giving him a good report. Didn't have any, solidified testing numbers, never recorded 40-yard dash, was hurt to end his senior year, so on and so forth. All of these things that just, from the outside looking in, it's gonna be a long shot in reality for this individual to make an NFL roster. Not the most athletic guy, hard worker, good kid, but the reality is this is a player who, and even before we signed him, we kind of knew it. So, if he does make a roster, for 1 year, that's a victory. And someone that we really weren't, expecting to, really be someone that teams are going to be calling for, nonstop or anything of that nature. So you knew this kind of going in. And so now it's August. We had the draft. Player went unsigned. Really, nobody just had any interest. Really did everything that I believe we needed to do as an agency to put him in front of teams. We did a virtual workout, sent out his film to every single team, all 32, talked to all 32 teams, let them know he's healthy, he's available, yada, yada. And nobody just came calling. Like, nobody had interest. Nobody wanted to sign said individual, which is fine. Like, it happens. Only so many individuals after the draft can end up on a team, and he just wasn't one of them. And so for me, keep working. You go through the summer, going into, camp, and obviously everything with coronavirus has really made things a little bit difficult and a little different. But at the same point, what you're trying to do just as an agent, really all that you truly can do is let all 32 teams know that your guy is healthy, that he's in shape, that he's prepared, that he's eager for an opportunity. And so for me, really for the last 2-3 weeks, I've been doing that, reminding teams that he's healthy, that he's ready to go, that he's available. And basically, we've talked with a few teams. To be honest, again, most teams have just said we're not interested right now. We'll keep him, on our short list for later on. But as of right now, we're 3 weeks away from the season. Nobody's really just, again, interested in bringing this player in. And I want to touch on this because it's important. I believe that where truth is in regards to what an agent can do and what some people expect an agent to do are two very different things. Some people believe, and I believe that this is what this family thinks, or we wouldn't have had this termination, is that it's really an agent's job to get you in front of these teams and to set up these workouts, so on and so forth. And that's not the case. The reality, we're in August now. Teams know who's available. Teams know who they have interest in. Teams know who's hurt. They know who's not hurt. They know who they want to bring in. And truth of the matter is, it doesn't matter who your agent is. If a team watches the tape, if they watch your college film, if they watch you move around, if they don't have any interest in bringing you in, they're just not going to bring you in. It doesn't matter if you have a Drew Rosenhaus, Agent Nicole Lynn, or Joshua Grady. Like, teams scout, and I think that's something that's a big misconception, is that an agent is just supposed to miraculously pull deals together, workouts together, when the case is, even if you don't have an agent, but a team wants to see you, they're going to see you. They're going to fly you out, and they're going to want to spend some time with you. They're going to want to see you work out. And so I say all this to say, man, again, I get a phone call. Basically, it's a dad saying that they want to separate. They want to go in a new direction. Again, this is a guy I've been working with since the beginning of January, trying to put him in front of teams, do everything that I believe is right in regards to being an agent. And you really just get to the point where the reality is, for a family, especially, and again, I try to call a spade, and this is where in my previous recording, I think I got a little too rough, so I'll try to dial it back. But, sometimes as an agent, you're just going to run into these families and these players that you're just going to have to be the scapegoat, to be honest. You can have a player who, again, teams just don't want to see right now, that they're not interested, he's not a priority, and that's just not good enough, for the parents. It's not good enough for the family, and you really become the reason in their eyes why, my baby boy is not on an NFL team. And so you get fired, and that's what happened in this case. Again, you had a guy who, again, I believe I did everything that I needed to do, talk to every single team, all 32 know who he is. They know who he's available, so on and so forth, every single thing that I can do as an agent. And then you still get fired because family thinks maybe they can find better. And for me, I just want to put out an encouragement, because I know a lot of younger agents follow me, even those that are maybe not agents just yet, is, if a time does come for you to have to walk through this trial, understand, man, as Summer Earl Nightingale said that really stuck with me, is if you do your best, what more can you do? If you do your best, if you do everything that you can, what more can you do? What's better than your best? And the answer is nothing. And at first, when his dad called me, I was angry, I was mad, I was bitter. When you really do everything that you can in genuineness and being thorough and making sure that you yourself have, dotted all of your I's, crossed all of your T's for this player, ensure that training was, to where it needed to be, making sure that you're being in contact with these teams and everything of that nature. And you get to the point where, the season's in a few weeks, and then you get fired, it hurts. It really does. And it can really be a pride check, an ego check, and it can be humbling. And I'm grateful it happened in year 4 and not in year 1, because for someone starting out to be fired, I think that's very, can be very discouraging, very disappointing, and it even is for me. But the reality is, in being able to, this was Thursday, I'm recording this episode Sunday night. The reality of the matter is, when you really dial it back and take some time to self-assess, the reality is Joshua Grady did everything that he could have done, that he needed to do in the role that I have for this player. And if that's not good enough for this, player or for his family, it really is what it is. I can't be upset, even though I was upset, but I can't be mad, can't be angry, and really just hope that this family and this player can really just come to truth. Like, teams just weren't and aren't that interested, and that's okay. That doesn't mean an opportunity is not going to come, but to just jump ship on your agent when he's working. I'm not sitting on my hands and doing nothing, really doing everything that I need to do. I think that was a weak move, but it's not the first time I've been fired. I've actually been fired twice. It's funny, the first person that fired me, I actually ended up getting them another contract while I wasn't even their agent, but I'm sure we'll talk about that at another time. So it's just all interesting, man. It's a learning experience. It's crazy how God works. Those that follow me on here, a little bit about my relationship with the Lord. One prayer that I have been having is for a relief from a lot of the stress that has been coming lately. With the season coming up, right now we have 5 guys on a team. A lot of the stress that I've had lately really has been from not only this specific player, but more so from the family. When you've got a dad that is calling you, when you've got a mom that is sending you tweets, this team worked out these players and this team did this and that. And it's like, I already know these things, but it does begin to stress you. It does begin to weigh on you. And my prayer has been like, God, please give me a relief from this stress. Like, please provide an answer to these issues that I'm having right now. And for me, mentally, I'm thinking, okay, what does that answer prayer look like? What it looks like is this said individuals on an NFL team, when in reality, what the answered prayer looked like was the relationship being terminated, And at first it's like, dang, you look at it on an earthly scale, it's like, man, you got fired. How can that be an answered prayer? How can that be a blessing? But the reality is, like, that frees up so much time for me now to really focus on our other guys, to focus on our guys that really are, to be honest, all in. To be able to focus on a guy like a Marcus Lewis. Marcus is a guy that's kind of in the same situation as this other client, but just has a complete opposite mindset in regards to everything. He's a guy that trusts me. He's a guy that listens to me. He's a guy that doesn't really ask too many questions. And he just knows, like, Grady, I know you're working. I know you're doing everything that you need to do. And Marcus actually has a workout this upcoming Tuesday, And so for me, it's just definitely been a check. Like, Joshua, you pray for this. I'm going to answer it. It might not be in the method that you think that I should be answering it, but you asked for, a relief from this burden, and I've taken it away. So really thankful for God to the way he works is really it's so good. It really is. And I'm just thankful for it, So that's really all I got, man. I hope I was able to provide just some transparent insight. Definitely going to keep things moving, keep things pushing. Was grateful, last few days talking to a few of our guys and really, getting that affirmation, like, I am a good agent. Having George call me and telling me about how his practice was, talking to Scotty, and we're talking about not even ball, but just life. Byron telling me, reaching out to me, talking about how practice has been going, talking to Jordan, talking to Sterling talking about how excited he is for me to get down to Atlanta to come, watch him play and whatnot and see his family, and just getting that affirmation from the current guys that we have, man, that it really means the world. And one thing about it, they say, without any rain, the sun, getting that sunshine wouldn't mean so much, no joy without the pain. And being able to, go from one day getting fired and you're questioning yourself and thinking you're not good enough and doubting, what did I do the right things, yada, yada. And in the next few days, the rest of our guys just come through and remind me, like, you're doing the right thing. And it's something so fulfilling about that, I would say. So that's really all I got. Just trying to, more than anything, was just getting some things off of my chest. As always, any questions, whatnot, feel free to hit me. Again, this is Joshua Grady with the Agent Talk Podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do me a favor and subscribe. They say that, it means something. So if you would do that, that would be awesome. If you're listening to this on the streaming platform, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, do me a favor and leave a 5-star review. If you like this episode, please throw us a subscription, and you can follow us on Instagram at @agentgrady_, as well as @agenttalk. And aside from that, this is Joshua Grady, and I'm out.